Very good evening, everybody. We'll start with today's session of Materia Medica. Yesterday, we have finished very important remedy. In fact, 2 lectures we have spent with that is opium. Today, we're going to learn one more remedy, which is not so common in the pain of homeopath, not so commonly utilized, but which has a lot, very deep action, which is a very important remedy for specifically having a GI tract affections, the cardiac affections. Then it has very specific pains, typical pains. A remedy which is prepared from oxalic acid. Oxalic acid is the part and parcel of many vegetables. It is prepared from the vegetables. There is a sorrel leaves, which are or rhubarb leaves, spinach, where you get the oxalic acid very commonly. And this oxalic acid has a lot of effect. It has a lot of utilization in day-to-day life of the human being. It used to stain the certain things, even it is useful for in the nail paints. It is useful to color the leather. It is used in paints. In many things, this oxalic acid is the part and parcel. And even it is a vegetable acid which is part and parcel of our day-to-day food also. Generally, this remedy is overlooked because many symptoms goes common with other remedy and we miss this remedy. In fact, I have missed this remedy in one case and then in second follow, I have prescribed that. What has happened? A patient, she came to me during pregnancy. She had a nausea and vomiting with pain in epigastrium. And she has shown that I have pain in this specific area. Her third month of pregnancy was going on. And she said there is severe burning over there. I used to get, along with that, the headache. I used to suffer from headache. And this headache, generally, I used to get whenever I came out of the sleep. Then she has explained that since last 2-3 months, I'm also getting pain in my chest. And those are associated, whenever it starts, it is associated with palpitation. And it radiates to this left shoulder. And I feel whether it is related with my heart. As soon as I lie down, there is a palpitation. When I wake up, I feel better. At both levels, she has shown it with the tip of the finger regarding the pain. Second important thing, that there is a burning pain in stomach, which is aggravated after eating. Then chest pain also she has indicated with the tip of the finger. That was another thing. So I was thinking in little bit direction of Calibicromicum. I thought that it might be because of severe acid secretion. That is the reason, and she is complaining that with Calibicromicum. And I have prescribed the Calibicromicum. Within first 8 days, there was zero result. But when she returned, she said, "Doctor, in fact, I'm not feeling better, but I'm having more trouble than the previous one. The nausea is increased, the pain is increased, and now there are few things which I want to add, that I was not able to eat any fruit. Whenever I have taken fruits, my pains got increased. Once I went somewhere and they have given me coffee, and after drinking coffee, my problem has started and it was increased. And third important thing, that coffee was sweet. So I felt it might be because of coffee, it might be because of sweet, but I felt aggravated. My complaints got aggravated because of it. And that's why once I got sweets also, and I had a problem. So these are the complaints which she has mentioned. And she said that since last 1.5 months, these things are going on, and I'm not feeling better. Even I have consumed allopathic tablets and they were not working. But doctor said that you have to bear it. This is what they have given me doxynate, but it never worked. But it has not reduced my pain. And even the chest pain is as it is. And I'm getting more and more breathless sensation. The one important thing was there that pain in spots was very marked. Second, then I looked towards the remedy that tannin spots other than Caribicromicum. I was knowing that oxalic acid is one important remedy. So I opened the book and just read under the oxalic acid. And then I concluded this is the oxalic acid. All features, what she is telling is oxalic acid. She has the cardiac complaints where there is a pain in chest which radiates to the left shoulder. The typical angina pectoris like features are there, associated with palpitation, aggravated by lying down with a breathless sensation. Then pain in stomach indicated with the tip of the finger, that is also associated with headache. Headache is aggravated after the sleep. Whole thing revolves around the oxalic acid. So I have considered that let us use the oxalic acid. It was way back. It was 1996, 97 when I was practicing along with my father also in our hospital, other than my opinion. So I have prescribed oxalic acid, 30, very few doses of oxalic acid because I was knowing that this is a depicting remedy. So I have given oxalic acid and asked patient to return after a week again. And the day she consumed the oxalic acid, the whole story recovered. All the problems vanished. Her nausea has vanished, her pain in stomach has vanished, her chest complaints, cardiac complaints have vanished. She never had a palpitation, she never had breathlessness thereafter. So all complaints which used to have aggravation with fruits, aggravation with the coffee, aggravation with sweets, all vanished. So this was the first time I have utilized successfully the oxalic acid in that patient. And many times this remedy, one must think whenever there are two important features. First is thinking of complaints aggravates. I have utilized this in one case where that patient had a very severe gastroenteritis a way back. But whenever he gets little bit pain in abdomen, he immediately starts thinking that he might get the same thing and he starts thinking about it and all complaints used to get aggravated. The oxalic acid works so beautifully in that case. So this is one important feature that thinking of the complaints aggravates, and second, pain in spots. These are two important features one should not forget. Then rest of the modalities, fruits aggravates, the coffee aggravates, the sweets aggravates, the exertion aggravates. Those are very important. Lying down aggravates, aggravation after stool, aggravation during stool, aggravation after sleep. There are many more features. So let us open the Boericke's Materia Medica. We'll learn this remedy from Boericke's Materia Medica, very nicely explained by Boericke also. Oxalicum acidum, sorrel acid. Although certain oxalates are constant constituents of the vegetable food and the human body, the acid itself is a violent poison when taken internally, producing gastroenteritis, motor paralysis. That is one important feature one should not forget. Collapse, stupor, and death. So it is a poison in fact. Influences the spinal cord and produces motor paralysis. So this remedy is very effective in motor paralysis. The spinal posterior spinal sclerosis is very important in this remedy. Sclerosis of brain, this is wonderful remedy. Pain is very violent in spots. The Kali bichromicum is given in the bracket. Worse by motion and thinking of them. So these are two important modalities which one should not forget. Pain in spot, that is a characteristic, and pains aggravated by thinking of them. Precordial remissions, spasmodic symptoms of throat and chest, rheumatism of left side. This is again one important characteristic symptom, that left-sided rheumatism, neurasthenia, that is exhaustion of the nerves, tuberculosis, that is another. So miasm is tubercular syphility. Head symptoms, sense of heat, confusion and vertigo, headache before and during stool. Headache is, there is one more thing, that headache aggravated by sleep, that is also one feature which is not mentioned over here, but that is also one feature. Eyes, severe pain in eyes, feels expanded. There is hyperesthesia of the retina. So this is having action on all sensory systems. Stomach, violent pain in epigastrium, discharge of flatus release, gastralgia, pyrosis, sensation of coldness below the epigastrium, burning pain extending upwards, lightest touch causes the excruciating pain, bitter and sour eructations worse at night, cannot eat strawberries. So strawberries aggravates, cannot eat the strawberries. That is another feature of this remedy. Those pains which patient complains in stomach always indicates with the tip of the finger. Abdomen, pain in upper part and region of the navel 2 hours after eating. Here it is again close to the Kali bichromicum with much flatulence, stitches in the liver, colic, burning in small spots in the abdomen, and diarrhea from coffee. So coffee produces diarrhea. That is very important feature. Coffee is aggravating factor in oxalic acid. Male genitalia, the terrible neuralgic pains in the spermatic cord. Testicles feels contused and heavy. There is seminal vesiculitis. So see the depth of action. This remedy is not only act on specific parts, but it used to produce its action in every system. Urinary, frequent and copious urine, burning in urethra and pain in glands when urinating. So this is very important remedy for the pain in glands. Must urinate when thinking of it. Urine contains oxalates. So oxalate crystals are very important features where you can think of oxalic acid. Respiratory, nervous aphonia with cardiac derangement like coca and hydrocyanuric acid. Burning sensation from throat down, breathing spasmodic and constriction of larynx and chest. There is a breathing which is patient feels difficult to take the breath with sensation of constriction in the throat. There is hoarseness, the left lung is painful, aphonia, loss of voice is very marked. Paralysis of the tensors of the vocal cord, that's why there is aphonia. Dyspnea, short, jerking inspirations, sharp pain through the lower region of left lung extending down to the epigastrium. So pain starts from left side, lower left side, and it goes up to the epigastrium. This is very typical. It is close to the Kali bichromicum. So the specific location mentioned over there in oxalic acid and Kali bichromicum. The heart, the palpitation, dyspnea in organic heart disease, worse when thinking of it. Pulse is feeble, heart symptoms alternate with aphonia, angina pectoris, sharp lancinating pain in left lung coming on suddenly, depriving of breath. So whenever there is chest pain, it is associated with breathlessness. Precordial pains which dart to the left shoulder, aortic insufficiency. So valvular heart troubles, aortic regurgitation, organic lesions of the heart. This is a wonderful remedy one should not forget when the modalities are marked. Extremities, the numb, weak feeling. There is a numbness, weakness. Pain starts from spine, extends through the extremities. Typical features of spinal sclerosis you can get over there. Drawing and lancinating pains shooting down the extremities. Backache, numb and weak. So patient always complains of numbness, weakness, prostration, myelitis. That is very important. Inflammation of muscular levels, layers. Muscular prostration. Wrist is painful as if sprained, like ulmus. Lower extremities, blue, cold, insensible. Sensation of numbness. Multiple cerebral and posterior spinal sclerosis. Underline this. This is the pathological general of this remedy. Oxalic acid, then Lathyrus sativus, the plumbum metallicum. Here the posterior spinal sclerosis, anterior spinal sclerosis, or lateral sclerosis, or sometimes poliomyelitis. These are features which you can get commonly. Lancinating pains in various parts, the jerking pains. So spinal affections are specifically showing its presence through the symptomatology. Skin is sensitive, smarting, and soreness, worse by shaving, mottled, marbled in circular patches, perspires easily. Modalities worse on left side, slightest touch, light shaving, aroused about 3 a.m. with gastric and abdominal pain. So modality 3 a.m. aggravation, it again goes in favor of Kali carp and Kali bichromicum. All conditions made worse by thinking about self. So this modality or this sentence is given in italics having its own meaning. This this is very important. Thinking of complaints aggravates. Relationship, compare arsenic, the colchicum, argentum, then picric acid, the cedar, arctic, eritinum, that is called a chickpea. The symptoms of it are given: lithiasis, jaundice, liver affections. It is a diuretic, but not well proved remedies. Same is true with the scolopendra, that is centipede. The terrible pains in commencing in head to toes, terrible pains in back and loins, extending down limbs, return periodically, commencing in head to toes, angina pectoris, inflammation, pain and gangrene, pustules and abscesses, caesium, another remedy, pain in lumbar region and testicles, headache darting through the temple, diarrhea and colic, and languor. These remedies not well proved, not yet utilized by me, so I will not comment on those remedies. Lime water antidotes to the poisoning of oxalic acid, that is a universal antidote mentioned. The specific action of the remedy is not mentioned anywhere. Even no complementary is mentioned somewhere. Dose is 6 to 30 potency, but I have used many times 30 only, not 6 potency, but I used 30 and occasionally 200 in my practice. In one case of left-sided rheumatism of wrist, when it failed from the Actia spicata, I have utilized oxalic acid and it worked. So this is a good remedy to be remembered in practice, where one should not forget the characteristic features of this remedy. That is, thinking of the complaints aggravates, pain in spots, left-sided rheumatism, thinking, then specific action on the heart producing typical left-sided angina, angina pectoris, pains radiates to the left shoulder, aggravation from coffee, aggravation from lying down, aggravation from foods, aggravation after stools, specifically headache during and after stool. Headache is also aggravated after sleep. These are very specific characteristics of the oxalic acid. So one should not miss this remedy. Many times we used to prescribe Kali-bichromicum, but this is one remedy one should think whenever Kali-bichromicum comes in our mind, specifically in GI trouble and cardiac trouble, and with time modality, the 3 a.m. aggravation. So this is one more remedy which we have finished in today's session. One must go through the book again and read it again so that it will become fixed in your mind regarding the oxalic acid. So that's all for today. Tomorrow we'll meet again with the new remedy and in the evening session with the another part of the another chapter from the 30th syllabus of Robert philosophy. So that's all for today. Tomorrow we'll meet again. Thank you and good night.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Good evening, sir.
Yes?
Sir, shall I ask one doubt?
Yeah, sure, definitely.
First of all, thank you, sir. I come across you. You are explaining very nicely, and I started reading of Arganan also. Your videos I am watching, and I started reading Arganan also.
Oh.
But here my doubt is, while you explaining your case, first I got doubt that it may be Ignatia.
Please talk loudly. I'm not getting your voice.
Sir, while explaining your case, you described one case. I got idea of Ignatia, sir. Why? Because pain in small spots, circumcised spots, and another one thing is burning not ameliorated by eating, sleep not ameliorated, headache not ameliorated by sleep, and coffee aggravation. These are contradictions, and a coffee aggravation modality is there. Pain in small spots are there. So it may be Ignatia. I got doubts.
Ignatia, the state is very important generally. Whenever we think about the Ignatia, whatever you are saying is very correct, but Ignatia state is rather different. Generally, Ignatia is a well-proved remedy and where you get all mental state very strongly with the Ignatia as compared to this. In this case specifically, we didn't get so much of mentals. Here, physical features are very strongly coming, and where pain in spots, yes, Ignatia is one of the remedy. But Ignatia has a little bit hysterical appearance whenever the Ignatia presents. And that we can catch it out when we clinically examine or observe or when we deal with the patients. So it is always, we have to think on specific things whenever we deal with the patient. And that's why I have not thought about the Ignatia. I was thinking about the Kali bichromicum, and later after Kali bichromicum, the oxalic acid. And oxalic acid was very specific because it worked. Otherwise, it would have not. So Ignatia state, I think I have discussed Ignatia earlier
Yes, sir.
so my suggestion is to go through that. Ignatia, we can understand on the basis of many things. It is very well proved and very typical state we can very easily catch with Ignatia. Ignatia ladies, whenever they comes, they are always in such a specific hysterical state. You get the typical eye movements, the winking of eyes. Sometimes they are moving eyes here and there. Then they complain specifically that they are having something problem in the top of vertex with burning sensation. Typical features of hysterical orientation used to get in Ignatia, which we can catch clinically. Oxalic acid doesn't have such types of symptoms. Oxalic acid have very few symptoms, the mental symptoms. And that's why thinking of the complaint, that is the only big symptom, characteristic symptom of the oxalic acid. So that's why I have not considered the Ignatia.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So good night. We'll meet tomorrow.